New York and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning. Laura Styles is here. Rosenberg is covering the finals, but we got Metta World Peace in the building. So, what's the rules, man? I've known you since Ron Artest.
Yes.
So, do people still call you Ron Artest?
Absolutely, especially in New York City.
Because that means something to us.
Absolutely.
We remember Ron Artest at the park. We remember the Artest brothers.
Yeah.
Terrorizing some basketball courts out here.
Gershwin Park, Rucker. Yeah, we had a great time, man. I miss those days.
Oh, you missed the day where I think it was your brother. Yeah, somebody tried to test y'all, and it was either you or your brother broke the leg off a table.
Oh my God!
Remember that?
Complete the story. Complete the story.
He's like, there was many.
No, I'm trying to figure it out.
It was a brawl. Let me just leave it at that, then.
Well, there's a couple issues. One issue you might be referring to is when I was 13 and our friend was playing basketball. Somebody broke the leg off a table and they threw it and they killed him actually.
Oh wow! I didn't know they went that far.
Oh yeah. It was LIC, Long Island City High School.
Yeah.
I was 13 and so something like that happened. They killed our best player. We idolized him. His name was Lloyd Newton.
Wow.
Yeah, but there was a lot of weird stuff going on.
But the streets was crazy in New York. And street basketball was crazy at that time. So you had to be official out here.
Yeah, you did. It was, it made you who you are, man. Actually, Daniel Artest, who you're referring to, he was really good. Should have been a pro, but he was a loose cannon.
Yeah. That's your older brother, right?
My younger brother.
Oh no, younger. Okay.
My older brother did 10 years in jail, drug trafficking.
Yeah.
But he was a good baller, but yeah.
So, fast forward, do you cover all of this and the kind of how you became the individual in this new documentary?
Yeah, man, I didn't even want to do the documentary because I felt like there's no need for me to be out there. I have no reason, to promote myself. What I do now is I don't need Instagram and stuff like that. I got rid of my Instagram, but my wife made me get it back. But the documentary was inspiring. Bleacher Report said they wanted to do it. When Bleacher Report said they wanted to do it, I was like, all right, that's a big platform. Because when I was in all my trouble in the league, when I was playing, a lot of the big networks wasn't messing with me. I wasn't able to get TV shows or whatever the case may be.
And that was because of your persona? Or, because you've always been a nice dude, you just wasn't going for the bullshit. Like, that's how I always perceived it. Like, if somebody wanted action, you was ready for action.
You want to know something, though? Now that I look back at it, I'm 39 now. And it was too much, a little too much, man. Like, when you're playing ball, it's a great time. And when you're playing ball, you're supposed to play ball. It don't matter what your upbringing, leave that where it's supposed to be. And a lot of it was too much. Some of it was like I wasn't taking no nonsense, and some of it was like, you're doing too much. I was never like a gangster in my neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Like, but when I got into the league, I started to, take on, I guess, characteristics of people from my neighborhood, things like that. Doing a little bit too much. When you get a little bit of money, you start, you change a little bit, and money doesn't change you. It doesn't make people happy. It magnified it magnified where I was at in my life when I was starting to make money.
The flaws.
Yeah, it magnified it.
So the documentary is called Quiet Storm, right?
Yeah, Quiet Storm after Maldives track.
And, okay, so, because I've seen reports saying that you haven't even seen it yet.
I did. I saw it. I didn't want to see it. I wanted to see it today when it came out because I was a little nervous, quite honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did see it. I cried like 3 times. It was crazy. It was crazy seeing my life. I never seen it like that.
Yeah.
I never seen it like that. And all I did was an interview because I didn't even want to do it. And they wanted me for 8 hours to talk. And I'm like, I only got 4 hours, man.
I'll give you half of that.
And they just made it happen, man.
So did they interview your family? Like, how deep did they go?
My dad, Bill Walton, Kobe, Nori. Nori was great on it, but Nori was amazing. Capone, my cousin.
Capone's your cousin?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Capone. He's my cousin. Capone, a lot of stories about Capone. He had 69 points. We was young. I was on the team. He had 69 points in the All-Star game. Hell of a basketball player.
I didn't know Capone.
Wow.
He was a hell of a hooper. And I also seen him when he shot a cop. He went to jail when he came out. Nori gave him I was right there when he shot. He had lefty. He shot with the left. But yeah. So yeah. But it was crazy.
So I guess you brought up taking on a persona of people from your neighborhood. It wasn't really who you were, but money. You said money magnified flaws.
Yeah.
But it was also, I think, and you help young players now, and
Yes.
and you coach.
Yes.
it also, I remember, other teams would use your ego and your persona against you to get you out of the game.
Yes.
And that was another thing where if it goes too far, now your own emotions become a liability.
Yes, exactly. Big time liability. That's why
On and off the court.
And on and off the court, absolutely. Because when you get upset, something happens in the game, the news is reporting, you take that back home.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know how to deal with adversity, you know, you take that back home, then you're not present in your household with your family, with your wife, and all that stuff. Take that back to the court, and it's like it just started circulating.
During that time, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
So during that time, I'm curious to see, like, did your team encourage you to get counseling? Was that an option?
When I was 19, I was with the Bulls, and they did some research on my dad. My dad was on medication, so I was like kind of tripping out over there. So they said, we want to give you half the dosage your dad was on. So I accepted it, but then when I took the first pill the first day, you know, I kind of felt weird. I threw the rest of the pills in the toilet, and I said, I just got to get through this on my own.
But what did they diagnose you with?
Well, my dad he was bipolar, you know, and I forget exactly what he was on. It could have been Zoloft. I don't know what he was on.
And your dad was a professional fighter also.
Amateur
Amateur fighter.
Yeah, he had me, then he quit. He quit boxing.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so when you're dealing with all of this, you know, mental health issues, emotional, right? Trying to filter all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now when you look at it, you said even one of your boys, your sons, saw this film and he was crying. You never seen him.
Yeah, my kids is like, they super tough, man. And even they're not from the hood, but they got some character. And their mom is from the hood. Me and the mom from Astoria Projects. Yeah. So the mom don't take no mess. And I never seen my son cry. And he told me the other day, Dad, I kind of cried a little bit. That's what he told me. I'm like, for real, you? Yeah, he said when he saw the Sacramento incident, it was a domestic dispute between me and his mom. And, you know, that was the time where things was like, we was breaking up. You know, we still stayed together I met her when I was 15 in Queensbridge, and we stayed together till I was 32. But, you know, it was kind of rocky. But she's a good mom. We friends.
That's dope.
Dope.
Do you, how do you, when you look back on the Detroit incident, when the whole, one of the, I don't know if we've ever seen a fan brawl with player. We've never seen that before.
No.
And hopefully we don't see it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, how do you look back on that incident?
I look back at it, it definitely magnified where I was at in my life at that time. The brawl had nothing to do with mental health, by the way. It was just somebody hit me, and I tried to hit him back.
When they threw a drink, you was laying on the table, they threw the drink on you.
Yeah.
Which I'll just say this, as an outsider, it was unfortunate it had to happen that way, but it had to happen that way.
Yeah.
A fan you just gonna throw a drink on somebody?
Yeah, it's crazy. And after that, lots of stuff was being thrown after that. It was insane, you know. But you know what was good about that moment for me? I actually needed to go through that because.
So did the fans, by the way.
Yeah.
They needed to see that.
Yeah. Like don't throw stuff.
This ain't no zoo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't no petting zoo. You know what I mean? This could happen for real.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? As a fan, that's how I saw it.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, you want to get involved? Or were you involved now?
Yeah, it's true. And it's crazy because the fan that actually threw the drink is on a documentary also. And we actually cool. Me and the fan is actually cool. I lost a lot of money, but I was like, I don't really like to hold grudges anymore, and we kind of cool. But I needed that because I was actually, that happened in 2003. In 2002, I got traded to Indiana. In 2001, I actually had nervous breakdown on the way to the Chicago game. Going on the way to the game in Chicago, and it was just so much going on in my life at that time. I needed a break, quite honestly, you know. And it was crazy. Before that brawl, I came out in the season in October, and I was like, I'm taking a year off. I'm giving them back the money. I wanted to retire. Actually, it was early. I was just going through so much.
It's 2001, you said?
2001, I had the nervous breakdown. 2003, I called the NBA and said I want to put in my retirement papers. And I was like Defensive Player of the Year. I almost got MVP. I was like in my prime.
How did they receive that?
Well, originally they was like, you know, you sure? You know, I'm like, yo, I need my papers. So then we actually started to go through the process of retiring, you know, at 23 years old. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that
crazy.
didn't happen. So how did they, because obviously, like, you letting them know that you're going through a lot. It's like a cry for help, like you're going through something. So what happened next? Like,
they helped out, and the NBA helped out a lot. But back then, if you go out and you come out in 1999 and you say I need help, I need a therapist. They wasn't as inviting as it is now. People was
Right.
more encouraging of that. But back then, it's like you got to hide all that. You ain't let nobody know you got any issues. They gonna probably say, you can't. They're not gonna pay you. Maybe who knows what's gonna happen.
Nobody wants to pick you up. You won't
Right.
get traded,
Yeah.
this, that, whatever. Your
Right.
contract's in jeopardy.
It's a
Yeah,
horrible
back
position to
then.
be in.
Yeah. So
And
you just try
and
to get through
socially
it.
now we're more, it's a
Yeah.
more mainstream convo, and that people know that people are suffering through
Everything.
different issues.
You can come out with anything now. Everybody's more. Oh, okay, you'll be all right. We understand. Yeah.
The Quiet Storm, the Ron Artest story. It airs tonight. It's on Showtime. You recently said in a New York Times article that you're finally at peace with the world. Now, was that that was the name change, right? The Metta World Peace was you going on this path, right?
It was definitely going on a path. It's not like a difference between Ron Artest and Metta World Peace, but it definitely was a path. And it definitely showed where I was in my life. I started to get involved in Buddhism. And, because when you grow up from the urban communities and you from the urban communities, and I mean, we have some people, we grow up Baptist, you may be Catholic, you have, and it's other things I think we could attach ourselves to. Me, it was Buddhism.
What you're articulating is the same reason why somebody like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and a lot of individuals went and sought out Islam.
Yep.
Right?
Something different, yeah.
Well, because it's a more holistic approach, and it's not the same spirituality that was used to oppress black people.
Yeah. 100%. Absolutely, 100%. If you do your research and I'm actually Brother Polite, one of my mentors, and you're talking to him, and I was already going down that path. And Brother Polite is like more of a Buddhist and kind of 5% in the mix in there. He's giving you a little bit of everything, And when you do research, it's like the Christianity was forced on us. It's not. I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but it's a few things that I didn't agree with. So I need to identify with something that I could identify with, and just things like breathing, learning how to breathe. Usually in our neighborhood, you get into an issue. It's like, okay, let's get it popping, but you take a second, think about what could happen and things like that. We don't have those tools, and I feel like Buddhism can give you those tools.
Breathing. Psh, what? Yo, we be talking about breathing in here.
Yeah,
I taught this one how to breathe so she can sleep.
Oh, really?
I had sleeping issues. But it's interesting that you do say that because even my mom, right? My mom is like immigrant from Guatemala, going through her issues. She was raised strict Catholic, and then she found her peace in Buddhism also.
Wow.
Like just learning and meeting other women who were chanting, and it completely changed her life.
We don't have those tools in our neighborhoods. They're not bringing that to Marcy.
Yeah. She didn't. She had to. She found through her groups and friends, she discovered it. But the same thing. We grew up in the hood. That wasn't available.
Well, and it's interesting too, and I'm sure we'll see it in the documentary, Quiet Storm. Your issues that you dealt with, right? Anger, the psychological stuff. Those were inherited issues, right?
Definitely.
And then you stack on top of that the neighborhood.
The
economic issues, right? Yeah. You stack on top of that just the whole cultural issues that black people have in general, as dealing with the issues of slavery and the trauma that was inflicted on us generations ago. That's passed down through the family line, right? That's how we inherit a lot of our behaviors.
And on top of that, the pressures of going pro.
Well, and
the
then you have that,
and people are looking at you. You're supposed to be a role model. Like you have to be perfect.
Right. Some people I admire, like Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James. Yeah. Like LeBron James, he's basically flawless. And I'm like, wow, I'm so proud of him. Actually, my brother did, when he was in jail for drug trafficking, LeBron's step-pops was in there also for something else. And for LeBron's been through some similar things. He grew up poor, but, everybody's so different. How did he not make those same mistakes I made? How is he so stable and balanced? And I always admire that. And Kawhi Leonard, his dad passed away. I would have been, devastated if my dad passed away. How is he so stable? So everybody's like, I wonder what everybody's been through. Everybody have a different story.
And the way your body and your mind deal with.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's wired differently.
I wasn't good with adversity. I wasn't afraid to take big shots, but I didn't make a lot of big shots. I made one at the end of my career when I became, I started to use the therapy, and I didn't have anxiety, but I used to go into every game with anxiety. Super butterflies. Nervous as hell every game. But then it took me a while to get to a point where I was able to just focus on basketball, which kind of helped me out in the championship when I was with the Lakers. I was zoned out, and I wasn't letting anybody bait me. You know, if you look at the old Pistons versus Pacers, it was tied up. Richard Hamilton kind of elbows me in the groin area. I elbow him in the face. I get a tech. They shoot 2 free throws, go up 2. They make a bucket. They go up 4. They win by 4 and and win the championship against the Lakers. You know, and then when I played against Kobe, Houston versus the Lakers, you know, I got a little issue with him. I go back at him. I get ejected. And I didn't want that to happen in the championship. I'm like, this is happening way too much. It's frustrating. I'm a baller, and I'm not. You know, I don't have the awards I should have. I don't have the rings I should have. So, you know, I started to really focus on therapy. Yeah.
Yo, look, man. Speaking of fans being involved in the game, let's talk about Drake.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Drake on the
I love
sideline.
Drake, man.
But we love Drake. I'm a huge
I know, but
fan.
it's too much.
Do you think Drake's antics right there next to the coach and him jawing with players and all that is too much?
I think that's a little too much. I do respect that he's a great owner. It reminds me of the Maloofs. Maloofs was great.
Is he an owner? Is he official?
He's an owner. I mean, that's what I heard.
Ambassador.
He's an ambassador.
Okay.
I don't know if he owns it. Maybe he
Okay.
does own percentages of the team. I don't know.
Well, you know, ambassador, owner, great ambassador, doing amazing things for the city. I think that's a little too much. But then again, it shows so much support.
Right.
You know, it shows so much support, and he's.
I'm
not
sure the team loves it and the fans love it.
Yeah,
And the city loves
They
it.
love the passion, but sometimes
Yeah.
even me, that I'm like, okay, that's a bit
I
much.
think like when you're talking to a player, you can still be like, "Let's go, team," or "He can't guard you." But if a player is upset because you're talking trash and the player comes to you, I think Drake should laugh it off. Don't get in a jawing match with the player because you're already doing too much. You know what I'm saying? You're already doing a little bit too much. But I wouldn't tone it down. I wouldn't tone it down. I think he's doing a great job.
Just maybe manage it a little bit different
Yeah, a
so
little
things
different.
don't escalate.
Yeah, you know
But
what?
he's trying to take people out their game. He's trying to be a distraction to the other team.
Honestly, he's doing, and you know what? And you think about it, he's doing a good thing for Toronto. I mean, they're gonna win the title this year.
You got Toronto winning.
Yeah, man. They're gonna win. They're probably gonna win the title. And he plays a part if they do. He
It's
was
their first finals, man. They've
Yeah.
never been to the finals before.
Yeah, I mean, when Richard Hamilton hit me in the groin and I elbowed him, I got a technical foul. They still won the finals, and we can't take that back. If they win the finals because of Drake's antics, it don't matter. The hardware's in Toronto,
Yeah.
and Drake had a lot to do with that.
How you feel about the Knicks?
You know, I'm a Knicks fan. I wish they would have picked me in '99, but it's okay. You know, I wish they would have picked me in '99. I love the Knicks, and I would love to see a championship in New York.
Everybody would.
I mean, they recently, before the coach got hired, and I never say, hey, I want the coach's job if they're coaching. But every time the job comes up, I'm like, I want that job.
Yeah.
Anything in New York, and you know, but I really hope I hope the coach does well, get players here, get to the finals, man. It's been too
Get
long.
to the playoffs, man.
Get to the
Just
playoffs.
get to the playoffs.
Get to the semifinals.
Yo, how about this? What do you, having worked for the Knicks,
Yeah.
is the problem the ownership?
So I know Dolan. I went to a couple of his shows. You know, he's an artist.
Yeah, we know.
Have you been to a show?
No.
All right, it was fun. He's a lead singer.
Yep, we know.
I think he should either be more hands-on or more hands-off.
It's two. Okay.
It's two in between. Because if he sees a problem, he's gonna get involved. I think he should be all the way involved, or like Dr. Buss, just
out.
Dr. Buss won't be involved for years. He won't make a decision. He has so much patience.
Well, and is that what's going on with the Lakers right now? Is that Jeannie Buss is too involved?
No, Jeannie has patience. Everybody else is chaos all around Jeannie.
Got it.
Jeannie hires someone, fires someone, or, you know, she's cool with the process. Everybody else is like, oh, the Lakers got to win. The fans is going crazy, you know, so it's not Jeannie. Jeannie's calm and collected.
You've also worked for the Lakers, and
Yes.
you currently work with the Lakers now,
I do,
right?
yeah.
You are a development coach for the South Bay Lakers in the G League.
Yeah, I was development coach, and now I just kind of help players. Like if players need anything,
Okay.
they can hit me up.
So, what is your perception of the Magic Johnson, Rob Pelinka,
Yeah, man. It was,
Jeannie? What are you seeing as a person who knows the inner workings? What
well,
do you see?
I don't work in the front office, and you know, I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Laker for life, and I work for the Lakers. So for me, it's more like I want to see the Lakers do better. I didn't like. I thought how Magic left was abrupt. You know, probably could have did it differently.
Got it.
But then he came out and was like, you know, Pelinka was backstabbing him publicly. He said that. Me and Pelinka had conversations about basketball. So I got a relationship with everybody. So when I'm seeing this on a tube, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. You know, and I hope they can fix it. You know, me and Pelinka talk about offensive strategies sometimes. You know, and then the whole thing with the Heath Ledger thing came out.
Oh, the Kobe. That was a weird story. I didn't even really talk about it. That just sounded like I didn't get it. I didn't even understand it.
I think sometimes, you know, you get in the moment, you get excited, and you want to just kind of show.
Okay, let me ask you this. Is Rob Pelinka an over talker? You know how some people sensationalize and over talk? Is that who he is?
Well, my conversations with Rob has been brief. Because when I was with the Lakers, Rob came in, and I was on my way out.
So you wouldn't know if he's one of those dudes that has a couple of glasses of wine and starts telling crazy stories and all that.
Yeah, man. I get the stories. Like, we all got people who are kind of sensationalize things, man, you know? Yeah.
Zion Williamson, an amazing, amazing athlete. You guys have similar body types.
Yeah, he's bigger than me.
Yeah. Because you're what, 6'?
At my prime, I was 6'6" always, and I could play at 265.
And he's 6'8", 280?
Yeah, big boy. He bigger than LeBron.
Wow.
So
big boy.
when you look at him and how he plays in college, what advice would you, if any, as far as preserving his body, style of play, give a young man like that as he enters the league?
I would say just go beast. I would say go in. Because right now, he's not going to be able to be stopped. I would tell him, go hard in the gym. You know, make sure you do all your mobility. Mobility is the most important thing you can do as an athlete. Because if you're not stretching and doing mobility, you can tear muscles and different things like that. Other than that, just, you know, he can shoot. He got a nice shot. It's probably not going to go in a lot rookie year. Nobody shot going a lot rookie year. But he got a nice shot. I would say just go in and try to win a championship. He has the type of body and skills to go win.
But he's stuck down there in New Orleans.
It's a good thing.
Championship, New Orleans. I mean,
no, you're right. So if you, because if you're in LA, like the 8th or 9th guy is gonna be a good player that want to come to that city. But if you're in New Orleans, like maybe that 8th and 9th guy is not as good. But if you can keep Anthony, if you can keep Holiday, Julius, you got a nice little squad over there.
So they can make some noise for sure.
Yeah, they can. They need Anthony Davis though.
How hard is it to make substantial noise? I mean, LeBron did, obviously, when he came to the league. If I recall, you did when you came to the league,
Took me a while. My defense was always tight, and my offense came later.
So is it really, when you're a young player, depending on your body type, but you have a body type like Zion Williamson, can he make an impact as soon as he touches down?
Yeah, he's ready. He's a man. He's more ready than people that's in the NBA. I mean, look at Siakam, who had 30 yesterday.
Yeah.
His body's not like Zion.
Right.
Zion's gonna come in and do work. And he's hungry. He hustles too. He's not like a prima donna. He hustles. He dives.
Right.
He passes the ball.
He wants it to be gritty.
Yeah, I think he'd be fine.
Dope, man.
Yeah.
Metta World Peace. Quiet Storm, the Ron Artest story.
Out today.
Out today, Showtime. Anything you want to say before you bounce? You got an album? You got any more albums coming out?
I know, right? Well, I definitely want to shout out Queensbridge. I want to shout out some people in the neighborhood that's doing great things. They have Nas got to do Mass Appeal, and Jungle got Street Dreams. They're trying to bring Queensbridge music back. Jay Rose, King Shooter, Piff, Chef La, GQ, everything, Ag Flow. They're all doing great things, and definitely the old artists, Tragedy, Gaddafi, the guys who just paved the way. Nature, I used to go to his house for every Thanksgiving. Iron 3, Noi, Capone, my cousin, like I said, Roxanne Shante used to babysit me when I was young.
What?
Yeah, when I was.
You can't just throw that out.
Yeah, Roxanne Shante, she babysit me when I came out my mom's womb. She was the first one that babysit me.
Wow.
I was in good hands. Obviously, Nas, Mobb Deep. My family used to sell crack on the same floor Havoc lived on. It was crazy. But there's just so many people I want to shout out. And then all the guys that, put their life on the line. Lakey did about 10 years total. Nice, 23 years total, in prison. So shout out to all those guys. I love you guys. And, we here. And thank you for having me on this great show.
Of course, man.
Appreciate you having me.
Anytime, man. Yo,
Definitely.
we even played your music a few times.
You did, yeah. I love you, man, because you're an honest dude.
Ron would send me joints. I'll be like, this is terrible, bro. Nah, I'll run this.
And I'll always hit you up for opinions, man. and I appreciate you. You got to respect honesty, man. I respect that, man.
Yo, it's love, man.
Definitely.
Give it up one time to brother Metta World Peace, Ron Artest. Check the show on Showtime.
Yeah.